Hello and welcome to Panzers Cold War. This is an entry-level RTS game, or real-time strategy game, which was developed by Atari as a sequel to Codename Panzers, originally developed by Stormagon Software and Tentacle before both companies went bankrupt back in 2008. This game itself was released in 2009, so it's quite old, and it does show its age. Here's an early warning that this game will be including some rather harsh language, so young ears and eyes, turn away now. But yeah, welcome to Panzers Cold War with Frozen Platoon. Today I'll be running through both tutorials, being the general troop control and then the armoured control of the tutorials. At this point I will let you know that this is my 6th recording of the game, and this should be my very first upload to YouTube. Keeping my fingers crossed that everything works this time. So yeah, I will point out at the top screen here the fact that text is clipping through the text box. Well, it's not clipping through, it just disappeared completely. Here we go. Simple click onto the left click on the troops and then right click to where you want them to go at this point, but yeah. I admit the gameplay will be a little bit more exotic when we move on to the campaign. And we won't have to wait for other troops to do stuff for us. Ah, there we go, now it's decided to play the rest of the tutorial. Oh yeah, I will point out, the green troops are what I'm controlling, blue are allies, and red are enemies. This will become more apparent later on in the game. There are other colours in the game, but that is predominantly used in multiplayer. I'm unsure whether I'll do any gameplay of the skirmishes at this point. Oh yeah. Just another thing is, keep an eye out on things, because later in the week I'm likely to upload a video on War Thunder, the MMO on World War II tanks and aircraft. Eventually it will probably include ships as well, but that's just something to look forward to. I have to admit, I'm not one really for real-time strategy games, but in the future I might do a playthrough of other strategy games such as Sins of a Solar Empire and what was the other one? Empire War, that's it. I think the newest game out of all these is probably War Thunder and Sins, so I'll be doing quite a lot of vintage games. I'm just going to rush through a tutorial, but yeah, feel free to skip ahead at the end of the video to to the first episode of the campaign, but until then, until it's released, you're going to have to put up with this. But yeah, I'm just hoping the audio levels are alright on this, because yeah, 6th attempt at recording. Might need a 7th though soon, but yeah. I'm gonna gather my things.
Don't be lazy.
My only regret with this game is just how prolonged and long the tutorials are in it. Although the two things I absolutely love about this game is its use of these little reinforcement posts, like the aid station or the mechanics post, which will not only heal but also replenish squad. So if you lose members of a squad, these guys will pump out a new person to join. As I was saying, here's someone with a little red badge above them, presuming they're hostile. But yeah, all about when this game is set. This game is set in about 1947-ish, under the idea that the Cold War not only was a thing, but slowly turned into a full-scale war. Which is quite interesting, but I won't give away too much of the plot of the game, but that's mainly what the game's about. Now that's the other thing is, rather than losing health, squads lose teammates, as you probably just saw. And this should be the end of the tutorial. Yep.
There will be no tomorrow for them.
Almost. At this point I'd usually end the video, but because the tutorial is so short, I shall be quickly moving on to the armoured tutorial, as it's called, I think. But yeah, even if that did take 5 minutes and other seconds. Yeah, the eagle against the bear. Americans against Russians, even though we're playing as NATO. Again, this bit really didn't need a prolonged cutscene.
Into that vehicle, quickly!
Having said this, for when it was made, it's actually quite a pretty game, especially when you consider the little indents into the ground. Although other games have made use of this, including Empire at War, which is another one of those beautiful little Star Wars games. Oh yeah, I forgot, this is also another useful thing about various vehicles, is you get some vehicles which are like the aid station and mechanics post that will heal the associate vehicles as well, and troops. So yeah. Currently I have no schedule whatsoever for when I'm going to upload these videos, just sort of expect them to come out at some point. But yeah, I certainly expect a quick gameplay of War Thunder from the British tanks coming out later in the week, mostly being the fact I've barely started using the British tanks in War Thunder. But yeah, I certainly enjoy playing War Thunder. Got to say, most of these vehicles have customizables on them, so you can change various things. So you can give various vehicles more explosive artillery and that sort of thing, or better armoured plating, or make the tracks reinforced so you can drive over mines. However, this varies from other vehicles which, let's say, are given flamethrower attachments or radar, which we'll see here in a second later on in the tutorial. When I say later on, probably in a few seconds or so. But yeah, for a 2009 game, this is quite good, apart from the fact, as I say, I think even if you buy this game on Steam, you will require to get a few mods off the internet, because otherwise you'll get an administrator's problem. This isn't a problem from the release of the game, it is a genuine issue in the code that wasn't fixed during the release. I suppose that's a problem when a game gets rushed out by a company that didn't take too much interest in it.
Reinforcements are on
Oh,
the
yeah.
way, Commander.
Throughout the game, like most games, you get these little reinforcement posts where you can call them reinforcements, either through helipad or in one or two missions you can also use dockyards and recent things like that. That's saying, there you go. This vehicle instead can have the main gun replaced with a flamethrower and radar. I do apologise for this being so boring, but I guess tutorials are always going to be tutorials. But yeah, it is quite a pretty game. And right on cue, it started raining. Right. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, or if you're more intelligent than that, go ahead and use Wikipedia. But yeah, don't be scared of asking questions. Not that I'm likely to answer them, but go ahead and ask, I might get round to it. The other little touch in this game, that most of the like buildings and such in game are destructible. Like this bridge, you can most certainly destroy it, I think. But here we go. Oh yeah. Here we've got the support POI, as the game calls it. POI just stands for point of interest, which in this case is a little radar station, which highlights that there are enemies around here. Won't tell us what they are, but they'll just sort of tell us that there is some over here-ish. Which is quite nice when you use fighter jets and such forth. As all real-time strategy games, you can call in support. But yeah. And if you hadn't guessed earlier, this is one of the mechanics posts I was talking about earlier. This being the allied one rather than one I am currently owning. I do wish though the pathfinding was a little bit better for the AI, but other than that, this would definitely be one of the games I'd wish for being remastered. Even though there isn't really anyone to remaster it anymore. There we go. Right, now we can go and blow the place to oblivion. Hopefully. Also, the game does run quite nicely because I'm getting a steady 30 frames per second. Remembering this is a 2009 game, and it isn't choppy at all, even though it is only 30 frames. Why on earth they use tigers in this tutorial, I have no idea. But there we go. And another tiger, just because the devs decided there would be one. Oh, I missed. That's... The jets are usually one-hit kill on them, on vehicles and infantry. Usually. And this should bring us to the end of the tutorial, I hope. Yep. Woohoo, finish the tutorial. So, thank you for sitting through and watching these two tutorials with Frozen Platoon. Hang around and probably by the end of the week I might get a War Thunder video out. But until then, have fun.